Hi everyone, MJ here, and before I get to my video about passwords and password protection, I wanted to talk about the current state of America. Right now, America is once again divided on the topic of systemic injustice, systemic racism. People are complaining about looting and not focusing on the main cause of the symptom that is looting, and that is systemic racism. Now, don't get me wrong, looting is bad, and businesses that don't deserve to be destroyed are being destroyed. But this happens way too much. It's been happening for as long as I could remember watching movies about the history of my people. We feel that we don't have a voice. Colin Kaepernick and countless other sports figures, specifically in the NFL, started taking knees. They were socially assassinated. And now people feel that they don't have any other recourse but to go out and be violent and break things and burn things down. And that's not everybody. There are people out there that are just doing it for fun. They're doing it because they want to sow chaos. There are also people that are out there that have no intention of doing this for the murder of the countless black people that have died at the hands of police officers. So I want to do something. I don't know all the answers. I don't know much of any answers really. But before, when this happened, I would get mad and write something on the internet. But I can't afford to do that anymore. We need actual change. And I wrote something over the weekend where I think the change comes from our elected officials. We have to start on a local level. We focus a lot on Donald Trump, but he's not the one making the laws in our neighborhoods. We need to focus on our neighborhood and our community, the leaders that are supposed to represent us, instead of representing police unions, any other unions, or anywhere money is. They need to represent their people. Now, Barack Obama wrote a Medium post article, blog post today, June 1st, about the situation. And in it, he details that we should not stop protesting, continue protesting, hold people accountable, come up with concrete and resolute demands, but also we need to go out and vote. We need to hold these people to the fire and make sure they're doing right by us, especially in our neighborhoods. We start local and then we build up grassroots style. And I think that's necessary. So protest, cause disturbance, don't loot, don't destroy, but also we go out there and we vote. And I think that is a good start. I don't have all the answers. I'm going to go through some of the resources Obama listed on his blog post and do some more research, and I'll come back to y'all. If you're not even if you're interested, I'm just going to come back to y'all and share it. And whoever comes across this, hopefully it's a benefit to them. I've been reached out today by my white friends, Filipino friends, Asian friends. People are upset, and it's not just black people anymore. Let's continue to hold on to this momentum and really force change to happen this time. I'm going to get to my topic about passwords now. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk about passwords. I often ask people to not repeat the same passwords, to not use the same password but a slightly different change. Maybe the last few numbers are different, or there's a different letter, or one letter is capitalized. If somebody really wanted to learn everything about you and to gain access to all your information, they could easily do that if you repeat your passwords for everything. In the news, there are always stories about companies that have been hacked, and troves of password hashes have been obtained and they're being sold on the dark web. And the thing with those are, your password is, when somebody says your password is stolen, usually I would hope a company has your password stored in your database and it's hashed. And hashed is like where you put your password in and some magic happens and it comes out the other end with this code, not code necessarily, but it looks gobbledygook, if you will. And that gobbledygook, it could be turned into gobbledygook, but it's almost impossible to go from gobbledygook back to regular plain whatever your password was. And the way hackers find out people's passwords after they get that gobbledygook is they figure out what the hashes are. They use devices or services like John the Ripper, and John the Ripper is on Kali Linux, and I'm going to walk you through how easy it is to guess the password of a file. I've seen people use John the Ripper for Wi-Fi passwords, WPA2. I've seen them use it for email passwords as well. So I really implore you to think carefully before you use the same passwords over and over again. So see my screen right now, I am logged into my computer and I am going to there's a file in here called Don't Look. I'm going to password protect it. So here we go, zip, the E flag, I don't even know what the E stands for. I'm gonna give it a file name. So let's call it secret.zip, and it's gonna come from test/don't look. Boom, I'm gonna give it a password. It's gonna be PASS1234, PASS1234. And the reason why I'm giving it a simple password is with John the Ripper, it will eventually crack your password, but the more complex it is, it's gonna take more time, of course. So I wanted to give it something simple. All right, so my folder is right here and it is password protected. So I'm gonna start using John the Ripper. But in order to do that, I'm gonna turn the password into a hash. And to do that, I'm gonna sudo. I'm gonna use zip to John, which is in the same family as John the Ripper. So zip to John, secret, and I'm gonna save this into a file called secret.hash and leave it on the desktop. Boom. Zip to John got me a hash, and now I'm going to crack this hash and figure out the password for this zip file. So I'm gonna use sudo again, sudo John secret.hash, and would you look at that? Let me see, it's processing right now. We have gotten to the pass where the password has been saved, but I did not use the show command to see the actual password. So I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna do show, and look at that. You see the password right here, pass1234. And once again, this was an easy password, but if somebody really wanted to get your information, they would be able to. There are ways to do it. So here are my suggestions. One, before you say that no one is interested in you, why risk it? Protect yourself. At all times, you want to protect yourself. In order to better secure yourself, better save yourself from any kind of cyber criminal activity where your passwords are obtained, your password hashes are obtained, use different passwords. And you might say, how do I manage all these passwords? Get a password manager. I use LastPass. It's great. I store all my passwords in there. And all you need is one master password. And with that master password, it opens you up to the list of all your passwords. And it also not guesses, but it gives you passwords that you could use for the apps and services that you're using. So you don't need to flip a few digits around. It gives you randomized passwords that it saves as well, so you don't have to memorize them and you don't have to think about them. So that's one, get a password manager. Let's say your passwords are compromised through some breach, right? And you're doing best practices, you're not using the same passwords, but if your password is breached and somebody does figure out the plain text, which is the non-gobbledygook portion of the password, then they would be able to log in to your service or whatever. But now a lot of companies are using two-factor authentication, and they have the two-factor where you may have seen where you get a text message anytime you're logging into a service, application, what have you. The thing with that is that could still be compromised through the use of social engineering. Somebody could call your phone company up and be like, hey, I'm MJ and I live in LA and my mom's name is... All that information could be obtained from social media, and you could social engineer a phone company representative, tech help, to switch from your phone to the phone that they have in their possession, your account that is. So now they have your account, they could try to log into a service and then they get that one-time password, reset the passwords, and they have access to all your information. So I propose investing in two-factor authentication, but using something like a token. And I will share that with you as well. I use Google Authenticator and a few others. I'll share them all with you below. And I think those are beginning steps on how you could best protect yourself. And I want you all protected. So thanks for tuning in. I have some links below with resources for how to bring about change in America and change in the world, hopefully. And I've been reading a few resources, and I found a really good donation platform. It's on Act Blue, but it's to donate to people being locked up for protesting, this bail fund. So as I said, some resources are down below. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.